last one, micro planning for classroom transaction. Now, let's start with the first unit, multilingualism and language learning. Multilingualism. What does it mean? Multilingualism simply defined as knowing and using more than two languages. If an individual speaker uses more than two languages, we refer it as multilingualism. Of course, a community of speakers uses more than two languages. We also call it as multilingualism. Multilingualism has a lot of merits. Multilingualism is a necessity because the world of globalization and also the cultural transmission. Multilingualism has a lot of merits like accessibility to know other culture. Then a multilingual person have to interact with others very easily, and then a multilingual persons get a lot of job opportunities globally, and it also develop broader world view. So these are the merits of multilingualism. Of course, in our classrooms, in Kerala context, multilingualism sometimes has some issues. Because we all know that our children in a classroom are very comfortable with their mother tongue, that is Malayalam. They are very use Malayalam for their communication process. The children teach the students learn English The students learn English when they enter into the formal school system. Sometimes students show some reluctance in learning English. So, as a teacher, should provide a language rich environment for the acquisition of this language, that is English. A teacher should provide a language rich environment for the students, and also a teacher should know about the cultural and linguistic background of the students. Based on these factors, teacher can design activities in connection with the acquisition of knowledge. The cultural and the linguistic factors have an important role in language acquisition. Okay, so a teacher, now we just discuss how a teacher teach English in a multilingual classroom. We all know that in our schools, our students are using Malayalam for their communication. That is their mother tongue. That is first language. When a teacher teach English, sometimes the knowledge of first language, Malayalam, interferes the learning of English. Okay, and also the students show some reluctance in learning English. So, as a teacher, we have to provide a language-rich environment for our students in connection with acquisition of second language. Now we are going to discuss some tips, some points, okay, which was connected to how a teacher teach English in a multilingual classroom. The first point is make a bond with our students. A teacher should strong relationship with our students. How can we make a strong relationship with our students? Of course, we just call them as names, their names, call them their names, then greet them, and also find some time to talk with them. This will help the students to improve the confidence level, that in turn help them to what? Yes, the skill of acquisition of the language. When a student is confident or he is so comfortable in the classroom, he has to respond confidently. That will in turn helps to what? To response. He makes response clearly. That will surely help for the acquisition of English. And here's the second point, that is create a safe learning environment. A teacher should maintain a positive environment in the classroom. Then only the students can interact freely, and also teacher have to provide them positive reinforcement strategies, and teachers should give enough time for each student to complete their task. And don't forget, a teacher should be patient in the class. That is the second point. Now we are discussing how a teacher teach English in a multilingual classroom. We already told 2 points. First one is make a bond with our students. Second one is create a safe learning environment. And the third one is establish routines. For example, we as a teacher, we have to assign some simple routine works to our students, like diary writing, then tasks in assembly like book review, thoughts for the day, etc. This will surely help language acquisition. And here we have to remember one thing, the students should know the objective of the task. Okay, so moving to the fourth point, making things visual. What does that mean? Exactly. If we introduce a new vocabulary in our class, especially in first or second standard, we have to associate the vocabulary with a picture. So make things visual. That will help the student to retain that vocabulary. And also we have to maintain a visual wall in our classroom. The products of the students should be exhibited there. Okay, so this will help them to retain the memory. Okay, and next one, that is the fifth point, be adaptable. That means a teacher should adaptable and friend teaching by doing. What is that? Teacher can teach a concept using different strategies, and teacher can teach the same concept in many times, and also teacher can use many strategies at a time. So sometimes she have to show some
pictures, isn't it? So the sixth point is teaching by doing. Next one, that is the seventh point, introduce new vocabulary before using teaching manual. That means we have to introduce new words in a classroom environment. While we present a lesson in the classroom, we have to introduce more vocabularies. Before introducing the vocabulary, when we present the lesson, we have to introduce these vocabulary early. That means she has to create some meaningful situation in the classroom and introduce vocabulary in that situation. And eighth point, practice variety of teaching strategy. Teacher, some are above and some are average and some are below the average. So when we select strategies, we have to consider the level of our students. And next point, that's ninth one, provide the students with choice in learning. That means the students give freedom for learning. Students give more importance for their presentation. We give more time or enough time to presentation, then only they get a chance for speak. So we should give students, what is that? Students choice of, we give more importance to students' choice of learning. And the last one of that is the 10th point is incorporate technology. We have to incorporate technology with our presentation or with our teaching learning process. So here we discuss 10 points that is connected with how a teacher teach in a multilingual classroom. Question for your essay. So just go through this point. There could be a question from this session. Okay. So we are moving to the next subtopic, that is code switching. Look, ഞാൻ ബസ് സ്റ്റാൻഡിൽ എത്തിയപ്പോൾ ബസ് മിസ്സായി. Which used here? Right, English and Malayalam. The codes of English and Malayalam used here. The codes of Malayalam and English mixed here. Like that, in a classroom, if the teacher asks a question to their students, then he or she gives answer in mother tongue. For example, teacher shows a picture of a kite and asks to the students, "Look children, what is this?" Then some students may say, "Pattam." Okay, then the teacher code switch into the word into English. Yes, this is a kite. This code switching is a phenomenon occur in all multilingual classroom. It has so many functions. Code switching helps in language acquisition and it also enhances teaching learning process. So listen, this is a repeated question for your essay. Okay, so for more details regarding code switching, you will obtain it from your student's guide. Okay. And now here is a question for you. Can you suggest some activities for sharing interlingualism? No? So I already told that multilingualism helps to access others' culture. In such a situation, as a teacher, what can you do for sharing of this culture. Yes, so teachers can arrange or organize some cultural fest. Then, engaging parents of all students and sharing their experience. Then, providing opportunities for conversation among students of different culture. So these all activities helps to sharing of intercultural events. So we can organize some cultural fest in our classroom and also motivate the students to conversate or interact with the other students. Okay, so these are the some activities for sharing intercultural events. So we just discussed here some subtopics of first unit, multilingualism and language development, isn't it? So from this unit, we have learned multilingualism and its merits, then teaching how a teacher teach English in a classroom, then importance of cultural and linguistic background of the students and benefits of multilingualism, isn't it? So I'm going to wind up the first unit. So hope you all are get some ideas related multilingualism and language development. Okay. So if you want to know more about this, you just go through your student text. Okay. Now we are moving to the second unit. The name of the unit is Cognitive Approaches to Language Learning. Cognitive Approaches to Language Learning. In this unit, we will be learning approaches, methods, techniques, and second language acquisition theories, and also different approaches and methods that we have to use in our classroom. Okay, so first of all, we are going to discuss what is approach, method, and technique. So what is a approach? So it is the theoretical part of the language learning. And approach suggests the method to be followed in a classroom. Approach suggests methods, what methods to be followed in a classroom. And then what is method? Method is a procedure followed in transacting the curriculum. Method is the procedure for transacting the curriculum in our classroom. It is a body of technique. Method is a body of technique which indicates the way of teach a particular item. So method is a body of technique. Then what is technique? Techniques takes place in actual classroom. Technique is the device used to accomplish immediate objective. Okay, is it clear? Okay, sometimes we use the word approach and methods interchanging, isn't it? So we just discuss what is an approach, what is a method, and what is a technique. So more details regarding this three aspects, that is method, approach, and techniques. Refer page number 28 of your student's text. Okay. So we are moving to the next important topic. Second language acquisition theories. Okay. So in your text, there are three persons acquisition theories are described, isn't it? So the first one is Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky and second language acquisition. So here we are going to discuss Noam Chomsky's second language acquisition theories. Okay. And do you know Noam Chomsky is the exponent of universal grammar. Okay. So what is this universal grammar? Do you have any idea? So the innate structuring human brain was known as language acquisition device, LAD. The innate structure in human brain is known as language acquisition device, LAD. The innate capacity to acquire any language is called universal grammar. Okay. So here we just discuss universal grammar, then LAD, language acquisition device, and also who is the exponent of universal grammar. 3 questions from this part. You may have a 1 mark question from this side. Okay, so don't forget who is the exponent of this universal grammar. Right, Noam Chomsky. So now we are going to discuss the important observations of Chomsky's theory. Okay, so here are some points. The first one is children can acquire any language. Chomsky said that he proved that children can acquire any language because the brain has an innate structure to acquire knowledge. So his first observation related to second language acquisition is children can acquire any language. And second one, language is a complex system. Okay. And third one, language acquisition is an active mental process. And the last one, children acquire language in a relatively short period of time. Okay, these are the 4 points that Chomsky tried to set related to second language acquisition theories. Okay, then we are moving to the next one, Christian's theory on second language acquisition. We just discussed Noam Chomsky's theory. Now the second one is Christian's theory of language acquisition. Christian described 5 stages for language acquisition. The first stage is silent, receptive, and the production stage. According to Christian, language acquisition takes place through 5 stages. Okay, and the first stage is the silent, receptive, and production stage. This stage approximately lasts from the first 10 hours to 6 months of a baby. This time, we all know that the baby can't speak anything, but that baby can simply respond to something, just like simple smile or nodding their head like that. So this is the first stage of language acquisition according to Christian. That is, the stage is known as the silent, receptive, and production stage. And the second stage is the early production stage. It also long for the other 6 months. Okay, here the baby can speak a single word or 2 words. Okay, that is the second stage. That is early production stage. Here the baby or the child is able to produce 1 or 2 words as answer. Okay, and the third stage of Christian's language acquisition is the speech emergence stage. So during this stage, children are able to use some dialogues or can ask simple questions, or he will be able to answer simple questions, etc. This is the third stage, no? And what the fourth stage is proficient in language. He can make complex statements and he can able to clarify something, etc., and also state his own opinion. Okay, so the intermediate language proficiency stage, that is the fourth stage. And the last and the fifth stage is the advanced language proficiency stage. Okay, this means here if the child get maximum to develop his language, he can develop proficiently. Okay, he can improve, he enrich it. If we provide more vocabulary or such situation for the students, he can become a good proficient in language. So these are the 5 stages of Christian's theory of language acquisition. Okay, and now here is another theory, and the theory named after Vygotsky. Vygotsky on second language acquisition. So according to Vygotsky, language acquisition happens because of social interaction. So social interaction plays an important role in language acquisition. And according to him, everything is learned in 2 stages. In the first stage, interaction with the others. And the second stage is integrated it into the individual's mental structure. These are the 2 stages of Vygotsky in connected with language acquisition. Okay. So here is a doubt. Anyone asked that explain code switching and code mixing. I think I already told it, no? And if you have any more doubt, you just go through your student's guide, or otherwise just read the teacher text of primary class. You will get a clear idea about it. Okay. So we are moving to this our theory. Here we just discuss 3 theories. That is, first one is that Noam Chomsky's theory of language acquisition. Second one is Christian's theory on language acquisition. Here, Christian described 5 stages. We already discussed it also. And the third one is, what is that? Vygotsky's theory of language acquisition. So we just discussed 3 theories. Okay. 3 of the SLA theories, that is second language acquisition theories of Noam Chomsky, then Vygotsky and Christian. So in the light of this, you have again go through the second unit and you will get a clear idea about it. And also in your class, teacher educators ask you to prepare a seminar based on this SLA theories, isn't it? So you just read that seminar report once again and also refer your student text. So because it is an important question, you have to get a short question or even an essay from this portion. Okay. So we are going to the next topic. What are the different conventional approaches of language learning? And the first one is structural approach. The first approach is structural approach. So it is an alternative of direct method of teaching in language learning. It's an alternative of direct method of teaching. What is the structure? What does it mean? Yes, structure is a word order in a sentence. Okay. So structural approach give more importance to the 4 fundamental skills listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And structural approach suggests that if a teacher introduce a language item or even a new vocabulary, it may be connected to a meaningful situation, not present the language item in isolation. It has to be presented in a context. Okay, that is what the structural approach tries to say. And the features of structural approach are, so we are as a teacher, we are trying to teach a new language, that is English. When we teach a new language in our class, vocabulary items should be presented orally before they are presented in the written form. Okay, the new vocabulary items should be practiced orally, then only presented in written form. That is the first important feature of structural approach. The new words or the new vocabulary should be introduced orally many times. Then we have to present it its written form. Okay. And we already told that the language elements or language items should be practiced in a meaningful situation. And the third one, reading and writing, is based on items which have already been introduced and practiced orally. The orally practiced items should be asked them to read and write. These are the important features of structural approach. Okay, so the next second approach is oral situational approach. That is the second one. As its name suggests, what is that? So the language elements or language items should be present in a meaningful situation and should be practiced orally. This approach tries to say that language elements should be practiced in a meaningful situations. So the next one, functional notional approach. This is related to the approach has rooted in a non-school environment. Okay, the functional syllabus is based on functional purpose and the language needed for express the functions, and notional syllabus is based on the language needed to express certain ideas or about some notions. That is functional notional approach. And the fourth one is communicative approach. So this approach gives more importance to attain communicative competency. A child can speak the new language, that is English, in fluently, accurately, and appropriately. That means a child learn language for communication. Okay, and here the prime importance is given to the children, and here teacher has the role of a facilitator. As a facilitator, she can provide more situations in the classroom for a language acquisition. Okay, so the next situation approach is known as natural approach. This is also says that a low stress environment in the classroom helps to acquire language. So as a teacher, she has to provide stress-free environment in the class in connection with the language acquisition. And the next one, social constructivist approach. Do you know who is the exponent of this theory? Yes, Vygotsky. So what happens when a child interact with the others? Then only language acquisition happens. Which type of interaction? The interaction between a language developing child and a linguistically knowledgeable adult. The interaction between the child and a linguistically knowledgeable adult can help to develop the language acquisition. And social constructivism, as an exponent of social constructivism is Vygotsky. And social constructivism is mainly based on three important assumptions: reality, knowledge, and learning. Okay, so that means we have to, when we interact with others, we have to acquire knowledge. And the last approach is cognitive interactionist approach. This approach believes that acquisition of language is both biologically and social. The acquisition of language takes place in a child because he has the desire to communicate with the others. So, this theory also states that language acquisition takes place in only through social interaction. So that's all about different approaches. Okay, here we discussed first structural approach, then oral situational approach, and the third one is the functional notional approach. Fourth one, communicative approach. Fifth one, natural approach. Next one, social constructivist approach, and also cognitive interactionist approach. So you can collect more details from your students' text. Okay, we just discussed the topic title itself, no, only the approaches. No, detailed information regarding all these approaches are in your student text. So you just go through it. And now we are moving to the next one, that is methods, different methods that we can use in our classroom for language acquisition. Okay, first one is the grammar translation method. So this method suggests that the way of language learning takes place through the study of its grammar. Okay. And GTM, that is grammar translation method, give more importance to reading and writing and give less emphasis on that listening and speaking. GTM, grammar translation method, it is a way of language acquisition through learning grammar. Okay. And this approach give more importance to reading and writing and give little emphasis on listening and speaking. And the next method is direct method. So in this, teaching or learning a new language takes place in a situation there the student should speak only in the target language. The students should, or the children should speak only in the target language. That is what the direct method try to say. And in that approach, the students have not allowed to use their mother tongue. The direct method states that the students should speak only in the target language, not in their mother tongue. The students are not allowed to speak in mother tongue. That is the direct method try to say. And again, the third approach is the oral method. This method gave learners to the use of freedom of the use of their first language. That is, in our classroom, in this method, students have the freedom to use their first language, that is Malayalam. And this method states that the usage of the first language surely help for the acquisition of second language. Okay. And the last method, the new reading method. The exponent of new reading method is Michael West. Okay, please note down. The exponent of new reading method is Michael West. You may be one more question from this topic. Okay, so according to him, an average child in India learns language for knowledge, and he achieved that knowledge through becoming a good reader. And by reading involved active use of grammar, and silent reading involves comprehension. That is what Michael West tried to say, that an average child learns language to achieve or for more language. He acquires the knowledge through what? How he can by reading. So reading involved active use of grammar, and silent reading enables comprehension. So here we discussed the different methods we used in the classroom. 4 methods. First one is the grammar translation method, GTM. Second one, the direct method. And third one, oral method. And last one, the new reading method. So, what we have discussed so far are the different approaches and methods, isn't it? And also, in this chapter, we just discuss what is a method, what is an approach, and what is a technique. And also, the second language acquisition theories of Noam Chomsky, Vygotsky, and Kreshens's 5 stages of language development. After that, we just discussed 8 different approaches in language learning, and also 4 different methods used in the classrooms. Okay. And so let's conclude the second chapter. And we have 2 more chapters to discuss, but now I just wind up. Okay, so with this, we are wrapping up the 2 chapters. We have discussed here the 2 chapters, multilingualism and language learning, and cognitive approaches to language learning. And make sure you just go through once again the chapters, okay, and prepare well for your examination. And wish you all the good luck, and thanks for watching. We will meet again. Thank you.